good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amber Mackey, and I am the marketing coordinator here at Richland One. Principal for a Day is one of our most popular and successful community engagement initiatives. We haven't had it since 2019, of course, due to the pandemic, so we're so happy that you are here to restart it with us today. Can I get a hand? Woo-hoo! Thank you so much. Whether this is your first time or you're returning, we hope that you had a wonderful experience about learning what it's like to be a principal and also some good things that's happening in our school district. We also want to thank our amazing, amazing principals for taking everybody around to see what you do on a daily basis. Let's give them a hand as well. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. At this time, we will have Mr. Jamie Devine, the parliamentary of the Richland One Board of Commissioners, to come up and bring greetings.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you again for being here. Cheryl Harris could not be here. She had another appointment. She asked me to stand in her place. We have with us tonight Commissioner Angela Clyburn. If you would please stand and be recognized. She's feeding her face, but that's all right. I don't think any of the board members are here tonight, but on behalf of the board, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you being here. As mentioned earlier, this is our first time being back since the pandemic. This is our over 10 years of having this Principal for a Day. This is probably my 7th or 8th time being here. I only think I missed 2 out of those years, and so it's good to be back. And again, I just want to say on behalf of the board, thank you so much for being in our schools. Please go out and share the good news of what you've seen and what you heard today, because this is Richland One. You are Richland One. You are ambassadors. And so we thank you for being here. And just, again, tell everybody the good news and what you've seen and what you heard, things that are happening in our classrooms. As we hear things about public education, do know that we're doing our best, we're being our best, and so we're going to continue to do what is right by our students. At this time, we'll take another personal privilege and recognize a former Richland One Board of Commissioner member, Lila Anna Sauls. If you would please stand and be recognized. Ms. Sauls. Thank you, and thank you so much for what you do in the community as well. Again, we're about student outcomes and student achievement here in Richland One. And again, we want to make sure that we always talk about that and keep our students the center of everything that we do. We may talk about some contracts, some hiring, some other things, but at the end of the day, we're about student outcomes. So again, I won't stand before you long. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it back over to our Mr. Ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Devine. At this time, I would like to call up some of our Principal for a Day participants. This is volunteer-based, but if no one volunteers, I will start picking on people. So would anybody like to come up? I think Ms. Sharon Cornelia said she wouldn't mind sharing, so you can come up and share your experience and some stuff that you observed.
Good evening. I hope everybody had as good of a day as I did, but probably not. I'm one of those people that, I was trying to figure out with Ms. York how long I've been doing this, but I've probably been here since the beginning. I enjoyed being doing Principal for the Day, meeting the teachers, but more importantly, the students. But today was just a different experience. I didn't realize that the dynamics of the Pendergrass Fairwall School, I had no idea that it was going on. I've been a volunteer for Richland One. I've done Principal for the Day, and I just did not know what was going on over there. Great students. These students are really, really, really special. I mean, all day long I was trying to keep from crying, because as unique of an experience it was just something that I wish that all schools could be made up the same way, which we know that is impossible, but these students are just so special over there. It just did something different for me today. I don't know whether it's I'm getting old or I just cry more, I don't know, but seriously, I've been in a lot of schools, and I know that many of you know, But today was just really special. The teachers just, to me, it felt like those were actually their kids, you know, the kids with special needs, the kids that needed special attention. The school was just, it was just an awesome day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cornelius. Anyone else want to come up and share what they, oh, we have a volunteer before I even get the sentence out. I love it. Come up and share.
So before y'all refer to me as the brother that walked up late when it came to taking the picture, my name is Alvin Staley, and I had the pleasure and opportunity to be at W.G. Sanders Middle School. It was actually my second time working over there. The first time, I actually had a little bit more hair when I was over there. So now after, when did I do it? Was it back in 2000? Yeah, a lot more hair and a lot less salt and pepper in the beard when I was over there. So the one thing I got a chance to witness at W.G. Sanders was that I would say the times has changed when it comes to the kids. You see that they're a lot more independent. You see that they're actually more able to think outside the box a lot more than, you know, kids at my age did. And one thing that made me feel good is that I walk in there and they see a fellow walk in there, blazer, tie, and the first thing they say, hey, I see this is a guy putting in some type of work just to come here, you know, take his day off and spend time with us, and, you know, just to be there for him. So my takeaway from being principal for a day for a second time was that this time I saw more students putting in, and it's even better that they see their principal and they have a principal that, one, knows what's going on at home, knows what's going on while they're in the school. And nowadays, especially with the males, they need that male figure. So main thing is that my fraternity of Phi Beta Sigma, that's also our adopted school. So we feel right at home while we're there. And even better, they feel at home while we're there. So with W.G. Sanders and all of Richland One, just from me, I appreciate the opportunity and the privilege, because I didn't have anything like this coming up. And I lived in Batesburg, Leesville, right off I-20, exit 34, if you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, we didn't have things like this, and for Richland One to have something like this is awesome. We've already picked my other fraternity brother. He's going to be doing this next year. Granted, we don't go through some wild pandemic that makes us grow 4 arms or something like that. So next year we'll be back doing this. And of course, just thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it, because it's just awesome to hang out with future leaders of America. So to the board, Principal Smith, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Oh, come right on up. Yes.
I'm Wes Church. I'm the pastor at First Baptist Columbia, and I love a microphone, so I thought I'd make my way up here. No, I came up here primarily because I just wanted to call attention to Dr. Green and the incredible team that she leads at the Hand Middle School. It's an incredible experience for me. First time I've been principal for a day, and my kids were pretty impressed, and so they thought I should have given them field day all day, but I didn't do that. But I did hear, I just thought this was interesting. I'd put a picture out there, and my 7th grade science teacher said, I hope you had a wonderful experience. And I had said to a 7th grade science teacher at Hand Middle School that my favorite teacher and growing up was my 7th grade science teacher. And she had commented there, and I just thought, yeah, it brings back so many memories. I think same for me, just noticing the differences in a school from when I was growing up. But just, I think the thing that didn't change for me was just to see the folks at Hand Middle School are all in on the mission, which is the children. And I could see it from those that were cleaning floors, those that were serving food in the cafeteria, those who were doing guidance work and counseling work, and those that were teaching in the classroom, and the whole administration team. And so I'm just so proud to pastor a church here in this community, and just thankful for what's happening in Richland One. Thank you.
Oh, yes, two volunteers. Y'all are making my job so easy right now. Oh, tag team, yes, I love it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Kevin Chuedo. I run the DMV, and I know that's probably not your favorite thing in the world, but you'll get over it. You know, it's like they used to say in Saturday Night Live, there's only one reason the IRS exists, and that's to make the DMV look good. But the reason that I'm up here is I'm another one that's been here, I think, from the very beginning. And I will tell you that I enjoy my opportunity to come out and spend time with you each and every time. Most of the time, it's clear to me that the reason that educators come into the program is because they love kids. And that's evident here in Richland One. And you spend a lot of time showing us the great programs you've got. And I go from program to program. I mean, in this case today with Dreher High School, I mean, when I watch kids speaking Chinese and you're realizing there's a country trying to take over our monetary system and you need some capabilities out there, they're going to start in Richland School District 1. Now, there was the arts program. They just won the state cross-country championships. There are more good things to say, but the one thing that I liked about this time, and the vice principal, Georgie, took me all over, is I was exposed to something that a principal really is exposed to, and it's the tougher job for the administration. And I want to thank you, because some people want to just take you and show you the great programs. They had an attendance program there, and they meet once a week. And nobody wants to talk about the kids that are not willing to show up for school and the parents that won't go ahead and support them. And what I will tell you is, and the reason I consider this a big day for me, is you've got administrators over there that care about those kids. They're going to fight for them. They're going to go to the parents, and they're going to go ahead and go to the home. They're going to find a way to get the kids back in. There's a state law that forces them to drop out of school on the 10th day of 10 consecutive days. But they have found a way on the 11th day to bring them back in spite of themselves. And so if you don't have that passion, you're never going to go ahead and achieve much of anything. And you've got to hit the tough points. And from my perspective, you got to share the tough points, because you can't do it by yourself. So if there's anything that I can do to be a part of the solution, I'm all in, because the future of our nation comes out of our high schools. And whether they go to college or they go to a technical college or they go to technical training, they're going to go ahead and lead our country for years. So giving the opportunity to share that in our community is a big deal. So thank you.
What he said. That's amazing. This is my second opportunity to be principal of the day. The first time I had the opportunity, I was principal of the day from my alma mater, Keenan High School. So that was really great. So thank you. That's right. Go Raiders. Go Raiders. Today, though, I had the opportunity to be principal today at the Richland One Middle School. The unique thing about that, it is on my campus at Midlands Technical College, Beltline campus. I am very proud of that. I was a part of starting the school there. It means a lot to me. I really enjoyed the conversation with the students today. The Principal Branham took me around. We met a lot of students, but one of the unique things, I asked some students, I said, do you know the difference between a principal and a college president? And they said, no. I said, well, sometime when you go to the principal's office, sometimes you go there for bad things like I did when I was a student way back in the day. But most of the time you go there for good things. But one of the things that struck me, one of the students, a young lady said, I don't know the difference between a president and a principal. She said, what I do know is that my principal is the queen, and she is outstanding, and she is great. So thank you so much for the opportunity. This is really great, so thank you.
Followed by Chief Holbrook here. Hi, everyone. My name is Sumner Bender. I'm the executive director of the Nickelodeon Theater on Main Street. I'm also a former teacher. So I taught theater for 6 years, so we also like the sound of our own voice and a microphone. So I had to get up here and say something. So I had the opportunity to work at Satchel Ford today, and it was an incredible day, especially because both of my nieces attend school there. So I got to see them participate in the President's Challenge in PE, and my other niece was taking her 4th grade astronomy test today. So that was fun. But I also wanted to take a moment because I watched Mrs. Weston, who's the ISS teacher there, take a student who was just frozen, had gone completely nonverbal, wouldn't respond to anything the teacher was doing. And she took that student in her classroom for 20 minutes and just worked with him directly. By the time she was done, he was back. He wanted to go back to class. He was talking. He was having a good time. And it was an opportunity. I think a lot of people don't get to see what happens to the students that have to go out of class because they have an issue. And I got to see that directly today. And I wanted to make sure that Miss Weston got her name recognized out there because it was a really incredible moment. So overall, it was a really wonderful day. And thank you for having me.
Good afternoon. Skip Holbrook, Columbia Police Department. I had the privilege of being at Rosewood Elementary School today. Ms. Williams was a very gracious host. Both of my parents are educators, retired educators. I have so much respect for what our teachers and administrators do. This has been tough sledding these last few years for all of us, and it's just been remarkable what's going on in the classroom and remotely, and we've had to do so many things differently. But you know, what was very special for me with Rosewood is, you know, it's a school that I think is 96 years old, 96 years old, old bones. It was clean, smelled, just the smell of the hardwood floors. The spirit and enthusiasm was in that school is contagious. It starts at the top with the leadership. Dr. Witherspoon, I think how you approach your staff and inspire, it's evident in the school. Ms. Williams, just her energy and her spirit as she works around the school. We got some steps in today, I will say. And her assistant principal, the children were respectful, polite. They made great eye contact, and this is elementary students. I was so impressed. There was order maintenance in the parking lot and the streets in the neighborhoods. That's a true neighborhood school. There's families walking to school, people dropping off. So it's you know, there was order to the chaos, and it just reminded me how important education is to our system, and I was thrilled to be part of that today, and thank you so much for what you do. For my high school principals here, the Columbia Police Department is hiring. We have a we have a fantastic cadet program. It starts for 18-year-olds to 19, and we have a way to work with our technical colleges to give them an employment, teach them some skills, and it's a way for us to, we take a lot of pride in reflecting the community that we serve, but it's an opportunity for us to also have what we refer to as that homegrown student police officer from the neighborhood that gives back to the community. So keep that in mind. Be a recruiter for us. But thank you for this opportunity.
Hello, everyone. I'm Henrietta Gatson, and I had the pleasure of visiting Kaufman Road Elementary today, and I really wanted to go to Kaufman Road because my husband is a principal, so I wanted to see if he's as tired as he says he always when he gets home. Wanted to see what he was doing all day, but I'm definitely gonna give him a foot rub or something when he gets home. But all seriousness, Ms. Hall is just wonderful. The students there love her. She meets the students and the families where they are, and I think that's phenomenal when it comes to being a principal. They have a very, very hard, thankless job, and we cannot thank them enough. I mean, during the pandemic, they had to pivot and then back from the pandemic, and they're going through so many things, guys, that we have no idea that's happening in our schools. And if you look at the school boards here in our area, you know, we want to make sure that when we speak at school boards and when we support people that we're voting for, that they are for the children and not for themselves, but for the children. So just make sure that when you're supporting someone, make sure that they are supporting our kids, because our kids are what? Our future. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't support the children, then we're not going to be able to survive in this world. So I just want to thank Ms. Hall so much for everything that she has done, and for me, just showing me the ropes, and just thank your principal, thank your educators. Even if you're in the community and don't have kids at those schools, you know, I drive by Kaufman Road every single day, and so I like to know what's going on in my community. My kids are not at Kaufman Road, but I want to know what's going on in my community. So guys, thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a good evening.
We have about 3 more people that want to come up and talk, which I love. I thought this was going to be like pulling teeth, so I'm so happy and excited. Richland One, right. Okay, so you come up and tell us what you've learned.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Afternoon. Come on, afternoon. Y'all got to say it strong. Y'all heard him say, Pastor, how y'all doing this afternoon? All right. Listen. I want to come behind Ms. Gaston and just say, I didn't go to Kaufman Road, but I want to just celebrate my principal of my sons, Ms. Hall. She does an amazing job. But yeah, she does an amazing job. But I had the opportunity to go to Mill Creek Elementary School with Mr. Wack. And we had a good time, and just to see the excitement on our students' face from the car rider line early this morning to literally leaving this afternoon, it was a pleasure, and I was just excited. I believe that I'm probably the only principal that had the chance to knock a crock out of the basketball goal with a basketball today. I don't think nobody else had that chance. But we really have some bright students in Richland One. Had the opportunity to go to every class, to talk with almost every teacher, and just listen to our students and listen to what they're learning and listen to what our teachers are pouring into them. And so I want to commend him and his staff. One person in particular, a janitor, Miss McCoy. Miss McCoy wiped down every table, pulled every trash can, made sure that every bathroom looked good. The floors were shiny when we walked into the schools. So I just want to celebrate Miss McCoy because she does an awesome job with her staff. I believe it's 3 of them that run that whole school and make sure that it's running. And so, Mr. Wack, keep doing what you're doing. Commissioner Devine, Commissioner Clyburn, Dr. Witherspoon, keep doing what you're doing, and let's continue as a community to move Richland One forward. Thank you so much.
Well, you have another preacher up here, so let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. I thank God for this opportunity. Principal Lattimore greeted me this morning at John P. Thomas Elementary School. And we brought the kids in. We toured every classroom. We wiped down tables during lunch hour. Even went to a Spanish class, which I thought was older students, but they were first graders. The work that they're doing there is phenomenal. Every child may not be an honor student, but every child is valuable. So what we have to understand is that we take the time out with our valuable children. They are all wonderfully and perfectly made. God created us all. So there's no difference between any of us. Maybe skin color, but we're all created by our Maker. So all I'm asking you is to take time to go by your local schools. Anybody can volunteer. Doesn't have to be for principal for a day. Just go up in there. Spend time with the children because they are in need of our time. And Principal Lattimore, please stand. Please. She got so many hugs today because she spends time with the children who are so much in need of the time. So I've taken up all the time that I needed to take up, but I just want you to know that we love because he first loved us.
You really think I wasn't going to get up here? Hey, y'all. So, back in the day, they'd put like 3 minutes back in the back of the boardroom, and then red light. I am not a preacher. I was raised by an ex-nun, if that counts. And I am preaching to the choir, unfortunately. So here's the deal. We knew going in that our principals were coaches. Our principals were mental health counselors. They were behavior specialists. They are janitors. They're cheerleaders. I had this list because, and they're there before anybody else, especially me. And we don't tell people that enough. My mama was a principal, and I saw what she went through every day. And when I served, I got to know a lot of the principals. And I've known a couple of you since college? College? It's our job to go back out into that community and remind our neighbors and our friends, those who have children in the schools and those who do not, that we have some incredible ground troops. And I will tell anybody who listens, Ray Tanner did not win those back-to-back championships without his pitcher and his first baseman. But somebody had to know where to put them, and somebody had to make them want to show up every morning. So, Ms. Giles, thank you for treating me like I was somebody special today. She even had a K-cup waiting for me. Because the principals don't really get to drink coffee all day long, and if they do, it's iced coffee by the end of the day. But preaching to the choir is your job to leave here and to remind everybody that somebody is doing something right. And I would offer that I wanted to have my 5 Sauls boys in any of Richland One schools, especially Bachman, if they weren't. So, lesson learned, I kind of thought it was really incredible. Now I know it. But y'all have a job to do now. So go do it.
So I was trying not to speak as a college professor. I like a mic as well. But anyway, I think that after today's experience, I really need to stand up and talk a bit about Principal Williams and what she's doing at Lower Richland High School. I think one of the things that's really unique for me is that I am an alum of Lower Richland High School. So today for me was going back home. I am, and I'm going to get emotional. It was one of those kind of days. I am currently an associate dean at the University of South Carolina in the Darla Moore School of Business. I am also a professor in the college or the School of Business. I'm a clinical associate professor. I'll share this because I think it's important, but I learned after I was appointed that I am the first African American to serve in a leadership role there in 100 years, the 100-year history of the School of Business. And I say that because I came from Richland One. That kind of talent and that kind of potential exists in Richland One. It does. And when I went back today, I was reminded of that. And certainly with some of the students, because there were some that were not necessarily having the best day and a little bit challenged and all of that, but many years ago, that was me. It was. Because I grew up in a dysfunctional home, and school literally was just a place of refuge, and I look forward to going there because it meant I didn't have to be at home. So today was, it was a lot, but I thank you Because what I learned today from Principal Williams is it's truly about relationships. And when you nurture those relationships with students, it changes their trajectory. And it reminded me of the people who did that for me. So I thank you for everything you do, for all the time you took today, for all of the lives that you are changing. And I thank the board, I thank Principal, I'm sorry, Lord, I'm putting you at Principal. Superintendent, I thank you. I just thank you all for everything. And, what I will say is that it is so very important for us to really be mindful of the impact that we have on people's lives. I would not be where I am had it not been for this district, and had it not been for Lower Richland, and had it not been for people who spoke into me and spoke over me. And I think that's important. I wanted to share.
Okay, two more. Two more, and then we're gonna move on. Guys, thank you so much, seriously. Okay, two more. Oh, no.
So, hi, I'm Commissioner Angela Clyburn. I am not the public speaker, even though I'm an elected official, but I prefer other people to do that. But I just couldn't, pass up this opportunity. I was moved, by your speech just now. So I said, who am I not to say something? But Principal Burns, Angela Burns, we caught on to that a little later in the afternoon. Someone else mentioned that. So, I feel like we were destined to be together today. But Creighton Middle School, Principal Burns is what that school needs. At any given moment, the students know that they can come to her. They can come to anyone on the staff. All of the administrators, their team. They come together in moments of need, in moments of triumph, in just every day. I could just sense that being there today. This was my first principal of the day. Of course, not my first time, walking a school, but it was a rewarding experience. I saw the good and the challenging today. So, from the first moment I pulled into my parking space that had my sign with my name on it and pom-poms, I thought that was a great, it was a special feeling. I even took a picture of it and texted it to a friend of mine, so that's how proud I was. But just walking in and people greeting you as you're the principal for the day, and just making you feel welcome. And the children, the kids speaking to you, and we don't know kids to be speaking to these days, but speaking to you, giving you fist bumps, even the kids that don't normally speak to anyone or like to touch anyone, it was made known to me today that that kid does not do that to anyone. So when that kid gave me a fist bump, I thought I was on top of the world. And even seeing teachers that were having a rough day, that actually happened today, and Principal Burns took me around with her every step of the way, and she made it clear to me this is how our days go, and I wanted you to see that and experience that. And the way, you're used to a principal coming up and saying, or trying to get that teacher through that challenging moment, but y'all, there was an assistant principal that was there, and 4 other teachers that came in for that one teacher. That was a moving experience, and it's just who we are and what we are and how we come together in order to make sure our children are well taken care of. So I just wanted to kudos to you, Principal Burns, and I just wanted to come and speak before you and tell you what an amazing day I had and what an honor it was. Thank you.
So my name is John Black. I'm the president of the Columbia Council of Neighborhoods, and I had the honor of being at Logan Elementary today, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed because I didn't have any pom-poms in front of the thing. Didn't get no cake, I mean, Mr. Copeland, we got to do better next year, okay? So, but no, I have a good relationship with Mr. Copeland because I'm also the SIC chair at Logan. And I have to say that I really wasn't going to get up and talk because I know the board and other people are probably tired of seeing me and hearing me talk. But I wanted to say, as I was going around to the classrooms today with Mr. Copeland, I saw some things that was real surprising and admirable. The staff was phenomenal. I mean, you can tell they are committed. And side note, I was really excited to see that they're actually doing cursive writing again. I was really pleased with that. But, my main thing for coming up here was when I was going around with Mr. Copeland, there was a few students that disciplinary, having a bad day or whatever. And watching his interaction with them, being stern with them, but yet also being compassionate with them. And because, back in my day, if you was in trouble, the principal come and talk to you, it was like with a paddle or something, But the time that he took to stand there and talk to them, and it was very stern, but yet compassionate. And I think that my greatest observation from that was that they took what he said and they understood, and you could just kind of see their demeanor change after that conversation with him. So that was, other than that, it was, people, the principal, what I saw today is not someone that just walks around and gives orders and gives direction. He rolled up his sleeves. There was a special Thanksgiving lunch going on, and we were out there putting up tables, rolling the chair racks around, putting out chairs, tablecloths. I don't think we ever figured out that little ribbon stuff on the tables. We kind of left that for somebody else, but we took it out of the package for them so they could do that. But I just really feel that it's important to recognize Mr. David Copeland Jr. from Logan Elementary. Please stand, sir. Thank you.
No one else? Anybody else? I know, right? Be careful. Maybe I shouldn't say that, right? What great reflections. And not only that, but I love that you guys gave your flowers to all the principals. Once again, thank you, principals, for all you do. Now we will have remarks coming from our superintendent, Dr. Craig Witherspoon.
Thank you, and good afternoon. There we go. Big school. With a lot of classrooms. Well, good afternoon to each and every one of you. I want to say, first of all, I think since Commissioner Devine and this is a lot of reflections this year, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing. You all were principals for a day, and you saw some amazing things. I need our principals of every day. Please stay. And I will tell you, they have a difficult job. And with some of the reflections, and a lot of you said a lot of things I was going to say. So, Dr. Rain, ditto, ditto, ditto. But during the pandemic, and we'll go there and then move forward. As you all know in your respective areas, a lot has changed. But this group, and along with our others, certainly across the country, but here, in a lot of aspects, it was harder then. Even though we were virtual, then we were hybrid, then we were back, and yeah, you got to know, okay, do you have books and laptops on it, but do you have your PPE and all of those things? And in the meantime, a lot of our principals, a lot of our administrators still had their families. And someone said this too, trying to motivate and encourage a staff, I wanted to make sure with our EDs and our team that we are encouraging and motivating them. In those Zoom meetings that we had, and all with principals and leadership, sometimes the first thing is, are you okay? While you're making sure your staff is okay. Some of our folks got COVID. Family members. Illness and all of that, but they still maintain. Now, they had their respective school teams, but as you all know, leadership is hard at any time, especially as things progress in the times that we're in. We won't dwell on that. But leadership is hard at any time. But during those times, we salute our principals. And I'll tell you, board sets their goals, expectations, so forth. Give them to me. I give them to them. And all of these things that you all mentioned still go on. You saw some things for a day, but it's every day. And they have to come with their game face on and make sure their staff is okay, make sure that the kids are okay, deal with the parents that are good and some of them that have some challenges themselves. They have to be their principal as well. So it's a tough job. But I wouldn't ask for any other team to be leaders in Richland One in this time. I wouldn't ask for a different group. We set forth challenges and goals and expectations. I know every month leadership meeting, I get up at, okay, we gotta. But even before I get on the microphone, I go up and down every row. Oh, how's it going with that kid and that parent? Because I get the calls too. And so forth and so on. But just to check and make sure that they're okay. So I'm going to say Commissioner Sauls, but Sauls said a good thing, and you all did. And I hate to start calling names because you didn't mention me, and I know how that goes. But I would first of all want to say thank you for you all, our principals, for a day that took time out of your busy schedules, your busy lives, and to share some time with us. And I'll tell you, that means a lot to our leaders. That those in our community saw fit to take some time out and come and see. Not go on, well, this is what I heard, or I saw this on 5 o'clock and so forth. But I'll tell you, for every whatever on 5 or 6 o'clock or whatever, we got thousands that do the right thing every day. That we've got to move and we've got to motivate, because some aren't ready for learning for various reasons. But we've got to see that potential. We've got to see that future in the eyes of every one of the students that we serve. So thank you for taking time and doing that. And as Saul said, we got to go out and spread the news. Well, cynicism abounds. Pastors, we and everybody, we know that. Cynicism abounds. But we have to go out and say, well, well, wait a minute. I was in this school. And okay, I hear you. I got that. But let me tell you another story. Let me tell you about the student that doesn't speak or communicates, but they communicated with me. But we have many more stories and things that happen on the good side. And we go through and travel, and let's be clear, and I know this, and you know, public education is under attack. I'm telling you what it is. I'm not I have to keep it down the middle. But now that you've been principal for a day, you share that. You share that. That's what we call that reciprocal accountability. We've shared it with you, you share it with someone else. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you. We had a lot of folks that have done this year after year. And if it wasn't a good experience, some of you wouldn't have done it for 10 years and 8 years. So we will sign you up. Last thing before I in my remarks, and someone mentioned this too, we are working on, and we've had in the district some mentoring programs, such as your organization, that have been going on. But we'll be ramping that up after the first of the calendar year. We've already wrapped some things up. And we're also going to be coming out, this is a plug, future plug. You know, you've seen nationally some of the dads on duty and watchdog and some of those types of things. And we're trying to work on a name because we're going to start with males, but then we want to add, just from what you have mentioned in terms of what some of our students need. So we're going to start with that. So you're going to be hearing more about that in the upcoming weeks as we ramp that up. And we first started, I'm going to put another something else good about our principals. So you know we put a lot on them. So we were going to start real small. Okay, let's get a little, you know, maybe 3-4 schools in each cluster to kind of build. And then the EDs did a survey, and hey, do you want to participate? And that number grew and grew and grew, and so we just okay, let's let's open that up. So you're going to hear more information about that in the next couple of weeks because we will be seeking volunteers and others to help with that where time allows and so forth. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to doing all that we can for our students because as someone said too, that's why we're here. And once it stops being about our young people, that's when we get off track. Once it stops being about those, and as Covey always says, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Thank you all for being here. I didn't mean to talk that long, but I was getting fooled by the comments that was said. This has been great. I'm glad we've been able to get this back started. But don't let this. You don't have to wait. As I tell all audience now, you don't have to wait till we meet again. If you want to go back and keep those relationships going, volunteer. Just stop by and say, "Hey, principal, I was in the neighborhood. How you doing today?" That type of thing. They will appreciate it. So that you don't have to wait till next year. Thank you, thank you, amen. Thank you.
Okay, we are now moving on to the last portion of our program. Amen. Yes, amen. Can I get an amen? I'm not a pastor either, but okay. I would like Dr. Witherspoon and the members of the board to please stand up at the front. And as I call your name, I would like you to come up and take a photo, but I also want your principal that served with you to come take a photo as well. So, let me get my list together. Everybody's making sure they look okay. And okay. First, we have Kevin Sueda, who was at Dreer. Please come up with your principal.
We're not going alphabetical order.
Let me move over. A prom picture. Okay. Okay. I love it. Damali Harris was principal for a day at AC Flora. Oh, get it, yes. Dr. Deborah Hazard was principal for a day at Lord Richland. Thank you. Randall Young was principal for a day at Hayward Career and Technology Center. Dr. Raines was principal for a day at Richland One Middle College. Commissioner Angela Clyburn, who was already up there, was principal for the day at Creighton. Get your handshake, right. Pastor West Church was principal for the day at hand. Shanika Griffin was principal for the day at Hopkins Middle. Okay. Carlos Promise was principal for the day at St. Andrews. Alvin Staley was principal for the day at W.G. Sanders. Thank you. Chief Aubrey Jenkins was principal for the day at Bradley. Chief Adams. Thank you. Thank you. He filled in for Aubrey. Lila Anna Sauls was principal for the day at Brockman. Henrietta Gatson was principal for the day at Kaufman Road. Kiosha Boyles was principal for the day at Forest Heights. I love it. Oh, I love it. Tashia Castellano was principal for the day at Har Hill. Travis Taylor was principal for a day at Hyde Park. John Black was principal for the day at Logan. Hamilton Jacobs was principal for the day at Mill Creek. Chief William H. Skip Hallbrook was principal for the day at Rosewood. Oh, he had to leave. Okay. Caprice Young was principal for the day at W.S. Sandal. Sumner Bender was principal for a day at Satchel Ford. Jabari Broderick was principal for the day at Edward E. Taylor. Reverend Stanley M. Nash was principal for the day at J.P. Thomas. Commissioner Jamie L. Devine was principal for the day at Weber.
Dr. Jones, principal for the day. I need to be giving you the award. I know you had No. We had a record day.
And lastly, we have Sharon Cornelius, who was principal for the day at Pendergast Farrell. Now, is there any body's name that I didn't call that didn't sign in? Oh, I think Alexis? Ashley. Ashley Jones. Let's see. Where were you principal for the day at? Arden. Oh, at Arden. Come and take a photo. And Nikki Daniels, please come up. Oh, Hayward Gibbs? She was principal for a day at Hayward Gibbs. Hers? Oh, Nikki. That's Nikki, and then that was Ashley Jones. Can we give one more hand and a round of applause for everybody that served today? Thank you again to our principal for the days. We ask that you share all the exciting things that you learned with your friends, family, and colleagues. That's in our program, and we hope to see you again next year. Have a good night.